Some songs are so iconic that it's impossible to imagine someone else improving upon their brilliance. They are so personal and so specific to the artist that the idea of another musician trying their hand at it, well, it just seems laughable. Basically, what I'm saying is nobody should ever touch Toto's Africa again, Weezer. But even then, every so often along comes that one fresh take that exceeds expectations and outshines the original by a mile. So much so that people forget it's even a cover in the first place. Now, Johnny Cash didn't write Hurt, for example, but many people watching this video right now may have never even heard the original version by 9 Inch Nails, because Cash took the song to a whole new level. That's the beauty of a truly original cover song, if such a thing exists. Any musician trying to redo someone else's work is begging to hear choruses of music snobs groaning about its inferiority, while pleading with the music industry to stop digging up and mangling the past. And yet some artists prevail in the most unexpected of ways, achieving godlike status for turning what was once just a great song into a quintessential song. I'm Andy for What Culture Music, and here are 9 songs so good you didn't know they were covers. Number 9. Manfred Mann's Earth Band, Blinded by the Light, originally by Bruce Springsteen. This is one of those songs that often gets credited to the wrong band. Was this Edgar Winter, Eddie Money, Bachman Turner Overdrive, Eiffel 65, the Wurzels? Well, whoever it belongs to, it's certainly not Bruce Springsteen, right? Because it would be crazy to think that the eternally gruff boss would be caught dead using those spacey keyboards and rat-a-tat drums. Manfred Mann and his Earth Band, on the other hand, had no qualms using every prog rock trick in the book when he laid down Blinded by the Light in '76. But Springsteen did actually record it first. With his typical hollering working class roots rock fashion, it sounds like pretty much everything else he did before Born in the USA. Then Mann came along and jazzed it up by about 10 notches, delivering it as the epic ode to revved up deuces it's known for today. Number 8. Bowling for Soup, 1985, originally by SR71. Whether you know them best for Girl All the Bad Guys Want, their other wacky cover, Hit Me Baby One More Time, or this, 1985 is unquestionably one of Bowling for Soup's biggest hits, but they actually covered it from another pop-punk band. SR71, who you might remember for their late turn-of-the-century rocker Right Now. If you remember it at all, it was in the Oscar-worthy classic Dude, Where's My Car, wrote 1985 just a year before Bowling for Soup's version started tearing up the charts. Not that either version of 1985 is groundbreaking by any stretch of the word, but Bowling for Soup were able to transform a modest punk song about random memories into some epic pop nostalgia, and that deserves at least a few kudos. Number 7. Naked Eyes, There's Always Something There to Remind Me, originally by Dionne Warwick. One of the quintessential synth-pop tunes of the 80s, There's Always Something There to Remind Me sounds like it was birthed directly from the loins of Duran Duran, then adopted by Naked Eyes to be raised in a safer environment. But this prime example of new wave's softer side was actually passed down from one of the greatest soul singers in history. Written by Burt Bacharach, Dionne Warwick's original demo featured nary a single keyboard or synthesizer, just a few brass instruments and complete vocal domination. Number 6. Natalie Imbruglia, Torn, originally by Edna Swap. If you thought there was nothing edgy about 90s radio darling Natalie Imbruglia, you are very much correct. But at least she and her producers had the good taste to cover a relatively obscure alt-rock track for her first single. Imbruglia drops the crunchiness and, thankfully, misplaced phasing effects of the original, transporting Torn out of its grunge confines and into the pop charts. Now, vocally, Imbruglia's wispiness can't quite compare to Edna Swap's Anna Previn, who sounds like Patti Smith, channeled through Melissa Etheridge. But the crisp acoustic guitars give the song some much-needed clarity. And if, like me, you're rapidly hurtling towards something resembling middle age, then Torn, along with, I don't know, Corner Shop's Brimful of Asha and Mambo No. 5, are just fun hits of pure nostalgia, reminding you of a time when you weren't so old and boring. Number 5. Amy Winehouse, Valerie, originally by the Zootons. Amy Winehouse helped revive vintage soul sounds and bring the R&B stylings of the 50s and 60s back into mainstream music, and she'd go on to inspire the likes of Duffy and Ellie Goulding before her untimely passing in 2011. Meanwhile, in Liverpool, the Zutons were busy offering up their own brand of nostalgic rock, meshing the sounds of fellow Liverpudlians the Beatles into 60s psychedelia and surf rock motifs. So, when the two revivalists collided in Winehouse's cover of the Zutons' Valerie, the combination was electric. Winehouse's version, produced by neo-soul expert Mark Ronson, keeps the peppiness while adding a little swing. And it's utterly fantastic. The Zutons, meanwhile, disbanded in 2010, having peaked with their 2004 debut, Who Killed the Zutons, the titling of which is, well, considering the band were only together for another 6 years, it's just a little bit unfortunate, really. Number 4, Jack White, I'm Shakin', originally by Little Willie John. Since his days in the White Stripes, Jack White has made a career out of reinvigorating long-forgotten styles. From garage rock to electric blues to baroque pop, he's done it all, often all at once. And for his first official solo album, Blunderbuss, White seemingly brought every single one of his influences to the table, most overtly in his cover of Little Willie John's I'm Shakin'. Upping the tempo and converting the horn track into a fuzzy guitar riff, White was able to accomplish what so many cover artists before him had failed to do, creating a rock version of a blues song without losing the soul of the original. And really, you guys should just go and listen to this song right now. Put this video on pause and do it, particularly if you're in a bad mood, because this thing is just a goddamn hoot. It's an absolute blast and a certified thigh slapper. Number 3, Great White, Once Bitten, Twice Shy, originally by Ian Hunter. As far as sanitized 80s hard rock about doing the deed goes, Great White's Once Bitten, Twice Shy might be the best. It had enough of a late Rolling Stones vibe, with its pseudo-sexuality, to draw in baby boomers, while ostensibly falling into the same category as something like Poison's Talk Dirty to Me. But Great White can't outsex the original by Ian Hunter. If STIs were transmittable through the auditory system, Hunter would be still calling fans, notifying them to get their private bits checked out by a physician today. The song is practically just one long pelvic thrust, accentuated by the occasional butt slap. Number 2, Ace of Base, Don't Turn Around, originally by Tina Turner. The commonalities between Swedish pop group Ace of Base and Tina Turner may begin and end with this song, but at least it's a solid connection. Many artists, including Neil Diamond and Bonnie Tyler, recorded cover versions of Don't Turn Around between 1986 and 1994, but it was Ace of Base's danceable take on it that has become the most recognisable. Although Ms. Turner's original doesn't have the bounciness or hot keyboard action to get heads bobbing like the Ace of Base version, it's tough to find a more supremely soulful kiss-off than hers. Unfortunately, Don't Turn Around was only used as a B-side to Typical Male, and never included on a proper album, thus relegating it to the rarities portion of Turner's catalogue. And number 1, Led Zeppelin, When the Levee Breaks, originally by Kansas Joe McCoy and Memphis Minnie. Whoa, 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 whoa. Are you telling me that Led Zeppelin didn't write this, one of their most legendary songs? Who is this bald Scottish idiot and why is he lying to me, you ask? Incredulously shaking your fist at the computer screen, not quite understanding that nobody can actually see or hear you, you dafty. But no, that's only partially the point here. Don't worry, this isn't a cover song in the traditional sense of the word. John Bonham came up with the legendary opening drum beat all on his own, and Jimmy Page broke out some truly unique guitar effects that were nowhere to be found in the original. But the basis for Zeppelin's classic dirty blues track, from the lyrics to the guitar rhythm, is right there in the 1929 song by Kansas Joe McCoy and Memphis Minnie. Of course, Led Zepp would later become infamous for, let's say, being a little less than honest when it came to borrowing elements from other songwriters, but at least they did the right thing with When the Levee Breaks. And, the song still slaps. So that's our list, but what do you guys think of these mystery stealth covers, and can you think of any more? Be sure to let us know down in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Then you can follow us on Twitter at WCultureMusic and myself at Andy H. Murray if you want to tell me how wrong I am. Bye!